Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to start writing task 2. I will share you the topic. Although more and more people are reading news online, newspapers will be the most important source of information for majority of people. The question is, do you agree? Or disagree? This is the question. Although more and more people are reading news online, newspapers will be the most important source of information for majority of people. Do you agree or disagree? That means the question says that now the use of internet is spreading. That means more and more people are using internet to read news. That means news means what is happening around us. News, and majority of the people says that newspaper will be the most important source of information. That means many people think that newspaper will be the most important than online news. Do you agree or disagree? This question just asked agree or disagree. So you will not give mixed opinion here. You have to give the complete agree statement or disagree statement. That means you have to give response completely in favor of agreement or disagreement. Hello, we have to start the planning first. Before writing anything, we have to plan first. So I'm going to share a plan with you how we can start our writing. First of all, in the first paragraph, that is introduction, in this, first of all, we will read the question very carefully. Question. What is the question? The question is, do newspaper will be most important. Do newspaper will be most important? This is the question. So first of all, we will rephrase the question. Now we have understood that do newspaper will be the most important. This is the question. This is the statement which is asked in the question. So in response, in answer, you will state your opinion that you agree with the statement or disagree with the statement. So here I'm going to share about disagreement. So I disagree with the statement. Why you disagree with the statement? That you will write here. Why? Because internet will be internet will be equally important. Equally important. From this, it is sure that I'm going to write that internet will be the equally important as the newspaper. I'm not showing here disadvantage of newspaper. I will not going to write. I'm not going to write about the newspaper will not be the, we can say, important. I'm going to write that internet and newspaper both will be equally important for people in the future. So this is the plan I shared. And in VP1, what we are going to write? We are going to write about newspaper, as I am going to share both advantage of both things. That means newspaper as well as we can say internet. So in BP1, I'm going to write, listen, I disagree with the statement. That means I am in the favor of online news. So in BP1, I will discuss about the newspaper, benefits of the newspaper. So we can write here benefits of newspaper. Paper. So now in this paragraph, I'm going to write the points. Which point I can mention here? The points ki ho sakde hai? Anybody? The first point of newspaper is they are traditional. Traditionally used, we can say. Traditionally used on desi kadali for communicating news. This is the first question which I am going to discuss. Traditionally used for communicating news. The second point, newspaper. The second point, experience of reading. That means most of the people like to read from a paper. Experience of reading from a paper. From a paper. This will be the second point. And the next point, third point, affordable for everyone. Affordable for everyone. That means even if आप example भी लिख सकते हैं. Examples की होंगी. Examples will be old people. Old people can easily read the newspaper, and the people of rural areas, and even the people of developing country. Developing countries. And the fourth point will be That means easy method. It is easy method. And for BP2, points will be the first point, speed, and convenience. Second point will be we can access from anywhere. Third, we can share our views. And the last point will be less damaging to environment. Less damage to environment. That means these points we have written. And lastly, in conclusion, what we are going to write, we will sum up ideas from BPs. So we have discussed all the points now. In these points, what we have written, first point is traditionally used. That means there were no online newspapers at that time. We are talking about printed newspaper here, not newspaper which we can see on the internet. Now the newspaper are also available on the internet, but here we are talking about the traditional newspapers that were in the printed form. So they were traditionally used for communicating news. This first point we can explain, like there were no newspaper earlier, so this was the only way for the communication. And traditional methods are better methods, we can say. ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਕਿ traditional methods ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ better ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, like old is gold ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਇਸੇ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ important ਹੋ ਗਿਆ. Next ਹੋ ਗਿਆ experience of reading from a paper. most of us ਆਪਾਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਪੇਪਰ ਤੋਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪਸੰਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ instead of using mobile screen or computer screen. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ. or there is a, we can say, unique experience of reading from a paper, from a book, from, we can say, printed newspaper. The next one, affordable for everyone. The newspaper are affordable for everyone, even where the internet is not there and the people do not have the opportunities. जिन्हां कोल नहीं opportunities हैगियां, जो internet afford नहीं कर पा रहे, even they can get the news from the newspaper. वो भी newspaper तो news ले सकते हैं. And the third is affordable for everyone, that I told you, that even the people of remote area, even the old people, those who do not have, we can say, who are not able to use the internet, they don't know how to use the internet, they can read the news, they can be updated by reading newspaper. And the next in this we have written old people, people of rural areas, developing countries, and it is very easy method. Then everyone can read from the newspaper. ठीक है जी, and they get a feeling of paper. That are the most important points. In the BP2, speed and convenience. That means by using internet we can get news instantly. We do not have to wait for long hours to get the news from the newspaper. Like newspaper are published once. Okay, you want Hindi? Yeah. Okay. Introduction, I will give you how to write introduction. Firstly, I am just trying to tell you that how to plan, how to get ideas, and we will organize that ideas which I have given now into the essay later on. I will give you the full sample essay. First of all, I want to discuss about the ideas which we have written. Access from anywhere. We can access the internet from anywhere. That means even we are sitting in a bus, we are sitting in our room, we are sitting in the train. From everywhere we can get the information from the internet. We can access, and at any time also. It is a 24-hour service. On online news we can read any time a day. Next, share our views. That means we can read the news on the online, and we can also share our views in the comment section. Every articles which is written over there has a comment section. ਆਪਾਂ comment section ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ comment ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ. We can comment over there, and we can even share our ideas about that article. Like in newspaper we are reading articles, and we can also get the articles on different websites from where we are getting news. So in that we can share our views. But if we'll talk about newspaper, printed form of newspaper, we have to do much to share our views to the publisher or to the writer. So on internet we can instantly share our views. आप अपने views share कर सकते हैं. And yes, I'm going to share you. Yes. Excuse me. Sir, oh, कुछ सी screen नहीं आ रही है.
Pages. And they're asking some questions, just you can reply to them.
Yes.
The class will be
Statement.
3 to 6 every day for writing and reading. After this, we will start reading as well. So right now you can just try to speak in English and Hindi.
Hindi.
Only English.
So I'm going to write a task here. Be peace. I will write statement again. Our statement is, although more and more people read the news on internet newspaper will be source of news for majority of people to so this is our task statement. Although more and more people read news on internet, newspaper will be the most important source of news for majority of people. Do you agree or disagree? So I'm going to start with the introduction. The internet is beginning to rival newspaper as the best place to find information about what is happening in the world The internet is beginning to rival newspaper as the best place to find the information about what is happening in the world. In this line, it is told that internet is the best place to find the information. As a newspaper also, I can say earlier the newspaper was the best place to find the information about what is happening in the world. That means to find the news about the events, or we can say events occurring in the world. But internet is now becoming more important, or we can say equally important as the newspaper. The internet is beginning to rival newspaper as the best place to find informative. That means internet is becoming competitor of the newspaper. I believe I believe that I believe that this trend means internet's importance. We can say increasing importance of internet. This trend will continue and the internet will soon will soon be just as important as the newspaper or we can write here traditional press, same as newspaper. This is the intro. In this first line, I have written that internet is beginning to rival the newspaper as the best place to find information. That means internet is competing. Internet is competing with the newspaper for the place of finding the information, and I believe that this trend will continue, and the internet will soon be just as important as the newspaper. Here I'm not going to write that which will increase in the future. I'm going to write that both will be equally important. That means I'm going to share the view here that both will be equally important. I will not emphasis on one. I will not give emphasis to one. So in VP1, I'm going to start about the advantages, or we can say benefit of the newspaper. I will give few benefits over there, and in the next BP, I will continue about the uses of internet and why internet will be spreading or will spread in the future. There is no doubt, there's no doubt that newspaper newspaper is the vital newspaper is the vital source of information even in the internet age. We can't avoid the importance of newspaper even in the internet age. So there is no doubt that newspaper is the vital source of information even in the internet age. First of all, I'm going to enlist the benefits of newspaper now. First of all, it is, sorry, first of all, it is the most traditional means traditional means first point I have written. First of all, it is the most traditional means of communicating news, and not everyone wants to or able to access or use the internet instead. That means not everyone is able to use internet. It is the most traditional way. It is used from ages. For example, for example, old people, as we have mentioned here. Yes, you can write undoubtedly also. Crucial भी write कर सकते हो vital दी जगह ते. Like you can use the crucial source of information instead of using vital, and instead of using no doubt we can also use undoubtedly, and it is irrefutable that we can also use. So we have mentioned examples when we have written the notes over there. We have planned this. Old people are those in the rural areas might not have the ability or while many of us many of us simply use, or we can say simply prefer newspaper even if we do have internet. Even we have internet. So in the first point I have given example, like it is a more traditional means of communicating news. Not everyone wants to or able to use the internet. Here I mentioned old people are those in the rural areas might not have the ability or the opportunity to get online, while many of us simply prefer newspaper even we do have internet. Here I told this because many of us, I earlier wrote that we not everyone wants to. That means if it is written we do not we have internet, we many of us likha hai, that means we do not want to use internet instead of newspaper. That's why this point is mentioned here. So the next one, secondly, earlier we have written first of all. So secondly, the second point is newspaper can be trusted as reliable source of information, of news, because why we can trust over newspaper, because before publishing the news in the newspaper it is checked by professionals, or we can say the news in the newspaper are given by professional journalists or editors, we can say, and editors are checking the information, and they are doing research over there that the news is correct, or the news is correct or not. So because here we are going to state the reason why we have written that newspaper can be trusted as a reliable source of news, because they imply they imply professional journalist journalists and editors. So we have here written our second point, and we also explained this by giving reason why we can trust over the newspaper, how the newspaper has reliable information, we can say, and we can also use trustworthy are newspaper are trustworthy. That means we can trust on the newspaper, that there is no scope that the information will be wrong, because it is checked by professionals and published by the professionals. And these 2 points I have mentioned here. And finally, my final point is why I have written finally here, because I'm going to end this paragraph after this. So I have written finally, many people like to experience of holding and reading a paper rather than looking at computer screen. As I mentioned earlier also, that some people like to read from a paper. They love the smell of paper, and they always prefer to read the news or anything from the paper instead of using internet. If they were given a chance to choose that from where they want to read, so they always will choose paper, because they love the smell of paper and they also enjoy the reading from the paper. Because here it is written, many people like the experience, sorry, to nahi aayega. Here will be the not to like the experience of holding and reading a paper rather than looking at a computer screen. So this is the end of the BP1. Here we have stated 3 points. First is, there is no doubt that newspaper is a crucial, that word also write here, crucial we can also write, crucial source of information even in the internet age. First point, it is most traditional means of communicating news, and not everyone wants to or able to use the internet instead. Example, we have stated an example here. Old people or the people living in the rural areas might not have the ability, or that means they can be illiterate also, or they can not use the internet properly, or they do not have the opportunity, they might not have the opportunities to get online, while many of us simply prefer newspaper. That means we also, some of you and me, I also prefer newspaper even we have internet connection. Secondly, newspaper can be trusted as reliable source of news. That means the information given in the newspaper is correct, because they employ professional journalists and editors. The final point, or the last point of this paragraph, many people like the experience of holding and reading a paper rather than looking at a computer screen. The next, BP2. However, or here we can also use in contrast, on contrary, because we are giving the points of online now, which is I think opposite of the newspaper we are discussing here. So however also we can write, and in contrast also, the internet is become likely to become just, we can say, equally important equally important as newspaper for a variety of reasons. For a So now, internet is likely to become equally important as newspaper for a variety of reasons. Now, in this paragraph, I'm going to give the reasons why internet is as important as newspaper. The main reason. The main reason is that it allows it allows us much faster access to news in real time. That means instantly, in real time, and wherever we are on different gadgets and mobile devices. So in this point, I have covered three things. First of all, the main reason is that it allows us much faster access to news in the real time. That means instantly and wherever we are. We can get news anywhere by using internet and on different gadgets. We can use different gadgets also, like mobile devices, tabs, etc. We can use laptops, computers. So we can get online news by using any device. Another key benefit, another key benefit. This is the first benefit I told you, and I'm going to write the next benefit. That's why I have written another key benefit of online news as compared to newspaper is the ability to share articles give our views and even contribute. What does it mean here? Contribute. That means we can share our news also. We can also contribute with our own updates. on social media. That means we can also share our news with the help of websites. We can post our news on the website. We are free to do this. That's why this is very convenient method, because everyone can share their views here. For example, in this I'm going to add example. For example, there has been explosion in the use of platforms like Twitter, and YouTube, where can everyone can share their news and views. This is example. So this is the second point. I have written that another key benefit of online news as compared to newspaper is the ability to share the article. Which article we like, we can also share that with our friends, and we also want to share with our friends that they will also read the same article and get benefited from there. So we will share that. We can share the article with other people instantly, and we can also add comments on the articles, and even we can contribute towards the news. We can share news which we know. That means our own updates we can share on the social media. For example, we have now Twitter accounts, YouTube channels we are making, and also Instagram is also good source of we can say knowledge. So we can share our news and views over these platforms. A final point in this paragraph. Final point. Every paragraph we will close by using final point. Final point is less damaging. We all know that mobile phone are emitting radiation which are very harmful, but it is less damaging because it reduces the deforestation. For printing a newspaper, paper is needed which is produced by using trees, and for that we are cutting trees on a large scale. So it will reduce the deforestation, which ultimately we can say reduce the reduce the deforestation and save our planet Earth. So this is the BP2, and at last we are going to write conclusion. In conclusion, or we can also write to conclude. In conclusion, I disagree with the view I disagree with the view that newspaper will continue to be the main source of news, because I believe that internet will soon be equally important. That's all. So in conclusion, I have given my statement here that I disagree with the view that here in conclusion, I disagree with the view that newspaper will continue to be the main source of news, because I believe that internet will soon be equally important. So here we have written that the newspaper and the internet have the equal importance. They both have equal importance. So in our BP 1 and 2, we have discussed about that. Is there any question regarding this? I think the statement is very, very clear. So first of all, you have to read the statement very carefully. Whenever you're sitting and you want to do any task and you're given with any task, first of all, you should read the statement very carefully. What statement is trying to say and what we will give response. So in this statement, I have given the equal weightage to internet as well as newspaper. You can also give disadvantages of newspaper. That means how compared to internet, the newspaper are less important. Here also you can share your views. That means I have given the equal importance to both, but you can give importance to one. And if you are going to like write agree one in this, if you agree with the statement, then you have to quote, we can say more advantages of the newspaper, and only few, we can say, disadvantages of the newspaper. But in more, you should put more emphasis over the newspaper. If you are going to write about agree, we can say if you are agree with the statement. If you will write only disagree point, here I have also written response in the disagree. There are many words which we can use instead of some words which I have used here. So this depend upon your vocabulary, and if you are using another word, you should have proper, we can say, knowledge of that word, how we can use in the appropriate manner. Every word has its own importance, so we should know how to use the word, then only use another words. Otherwise simple words you can use, the words whose, we can say, meaning you understand properly, that words you should use in the writing task. No, anyone who want to ask any question? Any query regarding this?